I Own It will give you a front row seat to the positioning, bold moves, and sometimes the dog-eat-dog negotiations that go on behind the scenes of the deals that break the norms, set the precedent, and become the case study we devour as we harness our craft. Welcome to the season. Leverage. You got it or you don't. On this episode, we sit down with the incredible Tony Rodrigues. Stay tuned, it's going to be a great one. Tony, thank you for joining us. New season is leverage, and everyone looks at leverage differently. How do you define leverage through your eyes?
Well, first, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. Leverage is something that it's a tool that we all have and that we all need in our toolbox. And people don't understand how important it is to really not just have the tool, but know how to use it, right? Leverage can help you move mountains. It can help you move boulders. It can help you move people. It can help you move countries, right? It can help you make the deal. It can help you break a deal, whatever it is, because if you have enough leverage, you can get anything done in your own life, in business, in the world.
Well, I always say leverage is more powerful than money.
100%. If you have a lot of money, but you have no leverage, well, if you think about it, money is a tool. And if you leverage it properly, as you know, in commercial real estate, when you leverage it properly, you can multiply it, right? You can amplify it. But some people have money, they don't know what to do with it, right? There's the infamous story of the first man to win the lottery was a homeless guy from New York City that won $5 million. Within 3 years, he was homeless again. Was it because he didn't have money? No, he just didn't know how to leverage it, didn't have the knowledge or the wisdom or the experience, and nobody taught him how to use it as leverage to get what it is that he wants and make the impact that he wants to make.
So Tony, when did you first learn about leverage?
Well, I think leverage is just an important part of life. And again, I've been in the personal development space for over 25 years, and I went in to help myself and to deal with some of the challenges that I had in my own life and my own business. And it's my first journey was with Tony Robbins, and of course you're familiar with him. You may have been to one of his events, and it just changed my life because there's so much knowledge and wisdom to be garnered from listening to other people, being open to learning, right? And understanding that, for example, one of the things that I learned the most is where focus goes, energy flows, right?
That's right.
What you focus on expands. So if you focus on problems, you see more problems. You focus on solutions, you find those solutions. So I think when I really started learning about leverage was through my journey in real estate as well, like you, and understanding how it takes leverage to take your money and invest it wisely, and having the right teams and the right people around to be able to expand and to grow. So through my journey of personal development and as a business, as a business consultant as well, and having to learn that for my own business, I learned how important leverage was. And it's important to recognize that people will there's only two reasons, right? People do things to avoid pain or to gain pleasure. And oftentimes people will do more to avoid pain than they will to gain pleasure. So it's about finding what the leverage is on that particular deal, on that particular person, that particular situation that'll get them to where you need them to be.
As Tony mentioned, people do things to either avoid pain or gain pleasure. But I want you to realize that leverage is underneath both. In one of your first experiences of leverage, in leverage there's always two sides. What side of the lever were you on in your first experience?
I think I've been on both sides.
Right. I think we all have.
We all have. And if it sucks to be on the one side that, that somebody's using leverage against you.
Right.
But when you understand what leverage is and the power of it, and understanding if somebody has leverage on you, that as long as you're aware of it, you can also navigate around it. Understanding that leverage you can get anything done. If you have enough leverage on, and I've used it a lot in my life, both on the professional side, but also, when I say professional, on the real estate and real estate investment side and the business side of it. But as a life and business strategist, I use that to help my clients, because the only way to help somebody shift, because people want to change. People want change, but nobody wants to change.
Right.
Right? So if you find enough leverage, you can help them shift to where they need to go, but they're usually unwilling. Right? So it's about finding the leverage point in whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. And we all have it. Whether your leverage is your kids, like what's your why?
Right.
Right?
Right.
There's the saying that says, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not strong enough. So what's your why? Why are you doing what you're doing? That's first sign, or that's a first example of where you can get leverage on that person to take the actions that you need them to do.
Right. So you were able to implement this in your coaching business, in your advising business.
It started with me. It started with, I like to say, eat my own cooking and I take my own medicine.
Right.
Right. And we have to do that. First, you have to get leverage on yourself to change who you are and the things that you're doing to get to where you want to go. And if, one of the things that I often say to people is, if you're not willing to stop taking advice from people you're not willing to switch places with.
Right.
So again, taking that and eating my own cooking, I had to change myself in order to be able to help other people change, right? In integrity. Otherwise, I'm just like so many other people that are out there, if I didn't do that, promise you something that they've never had, promise to take you someplace that they've never been. So I use leverage on myself to help me improve my relationship, improve my business, improve my own health, right? Years ago, when I had a very big incident in my business, a big betrayal that cost me 8 figures, I didn't sleep for 3 days, just as an example.
Sure.
And I had to do something, so I started walking, because I was not a morning person back then. So I would get up at 5:30 in the morning and I'd go for a walk and take an hour and a half walk every morning and do my morning routine of the incantations and affirmations and gratitude and meditation and breathing exercises, all of those things. And I remember there were days that I didn't want to get up because challenges were happening in life, but I would tell myself, if you want to have what others won't, you got to be willing to do what others don't. So get the F up.
Right.
And so I've just programmed myself to do that. So I have to use the leverage of, where am I now? What's my pain? Where do I want to go? And if I don't get there, what does that mean for me? What does that mean for my life? Who really loses if I don't win?
That's right.
Because it's not just, when you lose, it's not just you that's losing. It's not, it's your employees, it's your company, it's your kids, it's your future. It's the people and the causes that you want to help, the impact that you're trying to make in the world.
And that's what I learned. I mean, if I'm not the best version of myself, how can I help other people? So let's touch on that. How does personal development create leverage for successful businessmen and women who feel a lack of fulfillment? We have a lot of viewers that are in business, entrepreneurs, businessmen and women around the world. Explain that to them.
So there's a couple of things when we talk about leverage. You can leverage so many things if you really think about it. Number one, you got to be able to leverage your time, first and foremost. Then you got to be able to leverage your money, your knowledge, your relationships, your business relationships, to be able to get from where you are to where you want to go. And in business, you've got to be able to leverage other people's time, other people's knowledge, other people's money, right? And be smart about it to learn the game, because in business is nothing but a game. And most people are in the game of business, but they don't understand the rules. In many cases, they don't even know what their true outcomes are. They don't have those well-defined goals. But it really is about leveraging a lot of those things and taking them in blocks one at a time. And what I like to say, where personal development really jumps in to business, is, I've got to take a line from Lauryn Hill's song, how are you going to win if you ain't right within?
Right.
Right? How are you going to win? You've got to be right within you. You've got to kind of settle those demons, maybe exercise those demons and heal the hurts of the past and the traumas of the past. So you stop chasing something, you stop chasing a ghost, and you really start to work on what it is that you need to do. Because I think that we're all here for a reason, right? We all have a purpose, and the purpose, it's about finding your purpose. Life's about finding your purpose and then giving it away and then doing it to help other people, right? So I think that by using leverage in the right way, you can move yourself and your company and your staff and your employees to do that heavy lift that needs to be done to get you again from where you are to where you want to go. The difference between good and great is only 2 millimeters. It's doing a little bit more than other people do, and most people just stop, right? They don't go that extra mile. You know, there's a saying, you've heard it, that it's lonely at the top. That's
Sure
not
is.
true.
Right.
It's less crowded.
That's right.
True.
That's right.
But if it's you're lonely at the top, it's because you've done a bad job of helping other people rise with you. Because leaders don't just lead, they create other leaders.
Interesting. So Tony, how have your life experiences and entrepreneurial background brought insight and leverage to your craft as a coach?
So unlike, that's a great question. Unlike, there's a lot of people out there that are coaching and they're just really great at marketing, but they don't have that life's experience. I had somebody about 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, call me up trying to sell me on investing in real estate and how he wanted to teach me how to invest in real estate. And to which I told him, listen, I've been in real estate for 34 years, going on 35. I've had a fair amount of experience. And so I'm asking him, and he sounds really young. So I asked him, you know, I was like, oh, I'm a broker. I've been doing this for 2 years, this and that. We're, you know, really successful. I said, let me ask you a question. How old are you? The guy says 18. I'm like, okay, you can't really be a real estate broker. You're probably surfing your mom's couch. But because he's really good at marketing, he actually got to me and got my phone number somehow. And he was trying to sell to me, but he wouldn't, he persisted, and I had to kind of let him down hard. But there's a lot of people that are out there coaching to something that they've never done and they've never understood. And you can't get directions from someone to a place that they've never been. If they don't know how to get there, the most expensive mistake we'll ever do is taking advice from the wrong people.
Right.
So I've not just read the books, I've lived the life, I've got the scars, I've made a lot of money, I've lost a lot of money, I've been betrayed, I've been through the ringer on a lot of different ways. So I've seen, I've experienced, and through it all, of course, I've became a business strategist as well to understand that business is nothing more than a game.
No, it's
We
all
just
a
need
game.
to know the rules of the game and learn from the people who've been there, right? You want to learn about investing in big commercial real estate, bend your man, right? You want to learn about whatever it is, you got to go talk to the person at the top of the game or get as close to that as possible so that you can get guidance and tutelage from those who have been where they've been.
As Tony just mentioned, business is a game. Now, don't try to change the game. Don't try to adjust it. Just get in the game and play the game and give 120% when you're in the game.
So where this has helped me in my life, not only has it helped me kind of get my business life together and be able to do more and have more of an impact, but it's allowed me to help thousands of people have tremendous breakthroughs and outcomes in their life, whether I'm working with someone one-on-one, as a group, or even at an event. As I'm helping people through their own events. So it's been a life-changing experience for me because it's a passion of mine, because being able to have people have those breakthroughs and get to the other side to find that joy, happiness, and fulfillment that they're so looking for, that they desire. Because we all know people that are spectacularly wealthy and incredibly lonely and sad and unfulfilled. Right? So it's about taking them from there to where they want to go, so they feel more joy, more happiness, more love, more gratitude, more fulfillment. Because I know plenty of people that are broken happy, and I know plenty of people that are incredibly wealthy and really unhappy, depressed even. That's why my passion is to help people really get them from where they are to where they want to go. Because here's the thing, the next level of your life, of my life, of anyone's life, is going to demand the next level of them. So it's about the growth, it's about the contribution, it's about giving back.
So you're a lead trainer for Tony Robbins.
I am a trainer for Tony Robbins.
We'll
yes.
call you a lead trainer. Don't sell yourself short. Working with Tony, how has that created leverage for your career?
You know, the important thing, for years, I kept going back as a participant, and I crewed, and I became a senior leader, and then they made me a trainer 7 or 8 years ago, whatever it was. And it's just the next level. I never started out to be a coach. I never started out to be a trainer. I never started out to do this. I started out to help myself and to grow on my own for myself so that I can impact my life and the lives of people around me. But the journey took me to another level, right? Because every next level, I'm a curious guy. I like to learn. So I would get to one place that I say, okay, what's next? What else is there? I want to continue to learn and to grow. So that brought me to being a trainer. And it's another level of brotherhood. I have access to some of the greatest speakers and coaches and trainers in the world. Because I believe that the trainer body for Tony Robbins is an elite force. So I have access to that, and of course, being aligned with Tony Robbins and having been involved with him for so long actually does carry with it a certain status and the ability to communicate the way that Tony does and to learn what he does, because it's one thing to be a coach, it's another thing to be a trainer.
Right.
Basically, he pulls back the curtains and shows us how it is that he does what he does. So those interventions that Tony has on stage, as trainers, we do those on the side when nobody's looking.
Right.
The person that's suicidal, the person that's about to give it up, the person that's losing their business, their relationship, that their health is just not where they want it to go. And again, it's about finding the leverage. Great lead into that. It's about finding leverage to helping people change their lives. Because it's about you finding your leverage. Whether it's me or whether it's Ben or whoever it is, have somebody that's going to help you find leverage. Get that accountability, right? Having that accountability buddy, somebody that's going to hold you accountable. Because here's the thing, we'll do more for others than we'll do for ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. You'll do more for your wife and kids than you'll do for you. You'll do more to not let, your friends down. And sometimes you let yourself down and you don't do the things you said, but you'll stand firm and you'll honor the commitments that you made, right? It's about who you're impacting. It's about your community. And everybody wants to be an influencer. Everybody wants to be a world changer, but it starts with you changing you, the man, the woman in the mirror, right? And then changing your family and impacting your family in a positive way, then your neighborhood or your street, then your neighborhood, then your community, then your town, your city, your state, your country, and the world. That's how it starts. It's a grassroots thing that you've got to do for you, because until you fix you, it's going to be hard for you to help somebody else.
When does leverage go too far?
So, that's another great question. I think it was Spider-Man's uncle Ben that said, with great power comes great responsibility. So, understanding the tools that we're talking about are incredibly powerful, and you can use them for good or for bad. So leverage goes bad where, we see politically in the world right now, not to get into politics, but politically in the world, there's bad things happening in different ways, and there's leaders that are making decisions that you're wondering, why the heck? That doesn't make any sense. That goes against everything that they said. Well, somebody's got leverage. Somebody's got leverage. You want right now what's happening with Iran? Well, the leverage of the embargoes, of all of the things to tighten things up, or this country in particular uses leverage all of the time. Oh, you want to get your subsidies? You want to get, I'm not getting into the $100 billion that we're just giving away, but you want one thing or another. If you want this, you got to give me that.
Right.
You want to continue to develop nuclear or whatever it is, then you've got to stop doing this. So in negotiation is all about who has the most leverage and certainty. The person with the most certainty, and certainly the person with the most leverage, always wins.
Well, Tony, thank you so much for joining us, and it was really nice meeting you. And thanks for coming out, and thanks for having us in your hometown.
No, listen, I love it. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to meet with you, and always happy to jump on, one of these calls and share my knowledge, because I believe that knowledge is not power, it's potential power. Applied knowledge is power. And the next level of that is sharing the knowledge, sharing the wisdom, because there's various steps of learning, right? And when you learn something, you do get the knowledge. But when you find the gift in whatever that lesson was, that's where you gain the wisdom. And then sharing it, because what's the point of having learned, which is why you do what you do with this podcast, with this show. It's incredible because you're helping and sharing what you've learned with other people to make their lives better, their businesses better, their communities better, and ultimately the world better, because we're all here to leave this place and everyone we meet a little better than we found them.
Yeah. Thanks again.
Thank you.
It's time to jump out of your comfort zone and start using leverage you have right in front of you. Are you ready to put in the hard work? If you said yes, then what are you waiting for? Let's go out there and own it together.